It's a long time.
Sure is. The 44-year-old has 11 years of experience in the NFL as a coach and 11 as a player. He is 5-7 as interim for Miami back in 2015. He did play for Detroit in 06 to 08. He released a video reaching out to the fans.
What's up, Lions Pride? This is Dan Campbell, new head coach for you guys, man. I'm ready to get going. I'm excited, and we're going to put Motown back on the map.
How many times have we heard that?
We're going to put Motown back on the map. Okay.
I sure hope so.
Atlanta Hawks, they rally to beat Jeremy Grant and the Pistons. 123-115. What's with this team and getting rallied against recently? Jeremy Grant put up a career-high 32 points, including all of Detroit's 9 points in the overtime frame. He continues his hot start, but that was not enough for the Pistons. Grant has scored 20 or more points in 13 straight games. My goodness. The Pistons, though, have the worst record in the Eastern Conference. Yikes. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, perhaps you've heard of him. He's hired Maurice Lindquist and George Hello as assistants on defense, the latest moves that have reshaped his coaching staff. So
We'll talk more about that later.
a lot of changes on defense.
Defense, that's where they need it.
Now with the big NFL games coming up Sunday, the winners advancing to the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen spoke to reporters Wednesday ahead of his team's AFC title game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Allen spoke about what it would mean to win a Super Bowl.
As a little kid, football's one of my favorites, so it's winning that Super Bowl. It's being on the stage and celebrating with my teams and going into the locker room and spraying champagne everywhere, and it's just one of those things that not many people get to do. We're a long way from that point, and I hate thinking about stuff like that, but our goal is Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium, and we know it's going to be loud. Like I said, we know it's going to be a dogfight. It's a really good team we're playing, and we got to go and try to get a W.
Ian, have you ever sprayed champagne?
We're going to keep that private. The Bills are the underdog in that contest. The other underdog still alive is Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, and their quarterback, Tom Brady. He spoke to reporters about his team's NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers this weekend. Brady spoke about the effort that went into reaching this point.
The team's worked really hard to put ourselves in this position. Our coaches have done a great job preparing us for this moment. We've really come on strong here the last 6 weeks. Played our best football of the year when we needed it the most. The bye week was really good for us. Got a chance to get a little mental refresh, physical refresh, and then the team has done a great job coming together and performing under pressure and 2 road playoff wins. And gives us a great opportunity to go on the road again to beat one of the great football teams.
And that was Tom Brady. In college basketball, number 10 Wisconsin, they pulled away in the second half. They beat Northwestern 68-52. The Badgers went on a 12-0 run in the second half to get the win. That's it for our sports update. We'll do it again at 8 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much, Ian. And of course, if you'd like to talk sports with us, we'd love to have you give us a call here on the studio line, 517-265-4000. That's the number to call. Send us an email if that's easier for you, sports@965thecave.com. Of course, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we're again live this morning on our YouTube, right?
Yep, we are up and at 'em. That's at Lenawee Broadcasting Company. I posted the link on Facebook and Twitter. So when you're following us on social media, you can follow yourself right inside the cave.
Yeah, tune us in. You can see the cave behind us, looking pretty good.
It's got all the football swag.
It does.
If you go to our Facebook, you can find the first video we did back in a year plus ago.
We were all here.
And everyone was in here. Obviously no plexiglass or anything.
Yeah.
And there is absolutely nothing on the walls.
Yeah.
Nothing.
We took care of that in a New York minute.
You sure did. It's all up and at 'em for football season. That's fast finishing. I mean, that's like a couple weeks out. I mean, after the Super Bowl, like we got to get this place ready for spring.
That's
we
right.
We need
Yeah.
some local
Get some baseball bats.
baseball, softball jerseys. We have a
Yeah.
couple already.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some spring soccer
Yeah.
jerseys, basketball for the winter sports.
Get some cross-country spikes in here.
Yeah. So high schoolers, if you're out there listening, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Opportunity.
All right, let's focus in a little bit on the championship football game being played Friday at Ford Field in Detroit, where the Clinton Redskins will take on Montague, state championship game. And of course, you can hear that game right here exclusively on 96.5 The Cave and 96.5thecave.com.
Yeah, that's right. And we finalized everything. It'll be Jeff Bowman following his alma mater to Ford Field, and he's going to take a maple with him, John
Yes.
Roberts. They'll be on the call if they're in Ford Field. I asked them if they had to bring binoculars to look down at the
You do.
field,
You do.
but he said to call it. I think they'll have monitors up there
They
to
do. Yep.
kind of help them out.
John and I have done several games from the Pontiac Silverdome and Ford Field, and it is very, very difficult to see the numbers down on the field from 5 stories up in Ford Field. So anyway, let's talk about the game. They sound pretty confident, at least Braden Randolph this morning's comments, that this is just another business trip. We're going to go and we're going to take care of business. And he's been there before in some other sports, and that makes a difference if you've been there before.
Yeah, and it does. And the team they're playing, I mean, they're ranked as the best in the state in their division.
One of
Montague.
the best quarterbacks in the state on this team.
Really?
Yes.
Now
we were talking with Jeremy Fielder on Tuesday, and Jeff was saying that, yeah, this is one of the better quarterbacks in the state of Michigan. And so was asking Jeremy, why is it every time you play in a championship game like this, you run up against one of the best players in the state? This has happened before to Clinton. So interesting to see how they handle that. Talking some of the coaches, you can overdo this. You can look at too much film. You can overanalyze the situation, and I think they're trying not to do that and go and do what you do well, and leave it at that.
Yeah, especially on offense. I think defenses have to switch it up almost every week.
Right. Yeah. You're always going to see something new. And they're always going to throw something different at you, especially in a championship game like this.
Yeah, and Clinton's got, you talked about the best quarterback, in the division on the other side. Clinton's got some pretty good kids in that backfield and the offensive and defensive line that have something to say about that, with the Bradens, Jeff and John talking about them last weekend, and Lehman and Randolph just running all over the place. And all season long you think, someone's going to figure out Clinton. Like, someone's going to be able to stop their run game. They can't. A team that's going to line up, punch you in the mouth. You don't know what side. You don't know what teeth to protect. They're just going to hit you from whatever way they want. And it's been a really great season so far. And, since you made it here, you might as well win the whole thing.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Talking with Jeremy Fielder on Tuesday, we talked a little bit about the league, the Western Michigan Conference that Montague plays in, and there's some pretty good teams in that conference. Ravenna being one of them, which they were perennial powers for years and years and years. You have Whitehall also over there, and so it is a very tough conference. And I think 3 or 4 of those teams made it into, of course, the playoffs and won a couple of games. So
yeah, if you want to put a chip on your shoulder, if you're Clinton, there's already one there.
Absolutely.
People have doubted you throughout the season. You know, I picked Blissfield to beat you, all right, in the playoffs. Proved me wrong. Kicked a big kick to win that district title, and just keep on going.
What a huge win that was.
That was. I mean, you look back at moments in the season. You know, you pick out the loss to them earlier. Then you come back, you beat them. You know,
You
last
talk,
second kick.
you talk about a game of inches. It really does come down to that sometimes. And, you know, a field goal at the end of the game that just makes it over, or a missed field goal.
Right?
The
You know,
heartbreak. The heartbreak of defeat.
it-
But they haven't, they've only had it once this year. So, what a great opportunity for these kids.
Right, and you can't look at this game and say, "Oh, they're playing the best. It's not gonna matter. They made a good run. You know, they're just happy to be here." No,
Exactly.
no, not to prove themselves. Look,
Yep.
this area produces good high school football. It has in the past with other schools, and it is now with the Clintons of the world. They're here to prove themselves. They've played a Michigan collegiate team, beat them by a point. Like they shut them out in the second half. This team's got the tools, and you're a fool thinking that they don't have a chance in this game. I don't care who's on the other side, and I don't think they care either. That kid's just got a number on his jersey and a name on the back. You know, go put him on his back. Have him look up at the lights at Ford Field like Matt Stafford's been doing for 12 years. Give him a taste of it. You know, I like the mentality that Braden's taking with this, and with Tyler yesterday when we heard from him. It's a business trip. You know, it's another game, longer drive, a different facility. You know, it's like I love the movie Hoosiers. I get emotional every time because they do a great job to get you to feel that way. But when they go to that gym and the coach brings out the measuring tape, he's like, "Look, the free throw line is, whatever it is, 15 feet. That's just the same as back home." And then he holds it up to the top of the backboard and he goes, "This is a 10 foot. Just the same as the gym at home." Just worry about that. It's it's 100 yards, end zone to end zone. Strap them on, go play. I'm excited. I'm happy the Cave has this game. Jeff and John are in for a treat, and so are the listeners.
Absolutely, and of course that'll be, I think, a 4:30 kickoff at Ford Field right here, and it's on 96.5 FM. Or if you can't pick us up, if you're in the outlying areas in Ann Arbor and wherever, it will be streamed on 965thecave.com.
Yep, and I'll put up a sort of a pre-game story on our website, and I'll put the link in there too, and share that on social media, so you can find it there too.
And if you'd like to congratulate the Clinton Redskins, give us a call here on the studio line, and we'll talk with you, 517-265-4000. We have to take a break. Don't go away. You're inside the Cave this morning with yours truly, Pat Hayes and Ian Wendt. And you're back inside the cave this morning with Ian Wendt, yours truly, Pat Hayes. Glad you could join us this morning. And it's going to be time now for the Maple City Car Wash Trivia Contest. You normally hear this on Wednesdays, but something happened yesterday.
Yeah, it did. We're not going to call out anyone in particular, but we'll call out the Wednesday show.
A Wednesday show.
Yeah. I was not there, so don't blame me.
Okay, we won't blame you.
All right.
You were here on Monday, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, today's trivia question is being brought to you by Maple City Auto Wash on Main Street next to the Speedway gas station. First correct answer will receive a free car wash. The contest will be running every other week on WLEN and every other week on 96.5 The Cave until November of 2021. A long time from now. All winners from both stations will be entered in for a chance to win a free 1-year membership for unlimited car washes. One winner per station per year, please. So Ian, I think you've got a trivia question that it's answerable.
Yeah, so to kind of simplify what you said, in today's world that they do the too long didn't read, TLDR, answer question, call in, win car wash, also get entered in chance to win all of the car washes for a year.
Wow, that's a,
right?
That's
Unlimited.
a heck of a deal, huh?
Yep, phone number 517-265-4000. It's Lions related. Detroit officially hires Dan Campbell yesterday for their head coach. Since the year 2000, how many coaches have coached the Detroit Lions? I will start you off with Gary Mueller. He coached in 2000. Including Gary, how many coaches have coached the Detroit Lions? We'll include Dan Campbell. I am including interim coaches.
Okay.
So Bevel counts, and one people won't know is Robert Prince. He coached the game Bevel couldn't be at due to COVID contact tracing. So there you have it.
So
how many Lions coaches have been there since 2000? Call us at 517-265-4000. And if you answer it right, you'll win yourself a free car wash. I need one. Too bad I can't win.
I got mine done yesterday, as a matter of fact.
You went to Maple City?
I did, of course.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
It's not just because they're an advertiser, but it's good.
All right, so give us the answer. 517-265-4000.
4,000. Starting with
Almost
Gary
forgot it.
Mueller. How many
All right.
coaches have coached the Detroit Lions? That's bringing you back into headache territory on a Thursday morning, but you got some names there I'm going to read, and you're going to go, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that.
Yep.
Ooh, that was tough.
So, what do you think of the new coach?
What do I think? Well, I kind of gave initial reaction Monday of, I kind of gave the Lions the loser, like one of the losers of the weekend.
Really?
Because I said he could work out, it could be fine, he could be great, he could be terrible, but it wasn't like a splash hire. There were all these names out there of high profile, high octane candidates, and it seemed like Detroit was not even on these guys' radar. Like, we offer them the job, they say, nah, no. And it's like, Dan Campbell, yeah, I'll come back, I'll coach for the team I played for. Again, not knocking the guy, he could work out. But as the organization, it seems like we're even second fiddle for coaches. You know, we're second fiddle for free agents and the league in general. You know, I kind of got that vibe from this hire. Just a bit.
Interesting. One thing that I'm kind of surprised about is that Eric Bieniemy has not been hired as a head coach. I mean, he was number one on the list from everybody around the National Football League. I mean, he's been the assistant head coach. I mean, he's got all the credentials. I don't understand what's going on there.
What I hear is that he's not a good interview. Like, he doesn't do great in interviews. Okay, interview's one thing, but like when you put on the headset and you coach, that's another.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that in Kansas City. Another thing with Bieniemy, would you rather, this might be the easiest question I ever posed to you, Pat, or the listener, would you rather A, be the offensive coordinator at Kansas City with Mahomes and Reed and everyone, or coach the Lions? If you woke up every day and you were like, oh, I get to coach Patrick Mahomes, or you wake up every day and you're like, I hope Matt's back is okay and he can limp us through the season, you would pick Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Like, you would take the second highest job coaching-wise at Kansas City than be the guy in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Either make me the highest paid coach to fix your team, or I'm going to stay here, coach in championship games, already have a Super Bowl ring. Like, his legacy is already building. I think going to Detroit could only hurt him being the enemy.
Give me $12 million like Urban Meyer is getting down at.
That slipped right out, huh?
Oh, it did. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
wow. Jeez.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. We all heard it.
Anyway, we're still waiting for our phone call, and we're going to move along here. But today's trivia has been brought to you by Maple City Auto Wash, home of the best free vacuums and carpet mat cleaners. Be sure to check their membership packages for big savings and great deals on gift certificates, cards for all occasions. Who doesn't love a clean car? Maple City Auto Wash gets your vehicle clean, dry, and shiny every time. Thank you to Maple City Auto Wash.
Yep, we'll give you till 7:40 to call in your answer for how many coaches have the Lions had since the year 2000. I'm starting with Gary Muller from the year 2000 that coached the Lions. That's in honor of the team officially hiring Dan Campbell as their man. Now, every time you watch or listen to the Lions, you'll get a little hungry. You'll want some soup. I know it. I know it.
And chunky soup.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right, let's move along here on Inside the Cave this morning. And if you'd like to talk, give us a call here on the studio line, 517-265-4000. Where are we going next, Ian?
Well, why don't we kind of stay with the Lions?
Okay.
If people didn't catch your take on Tuesday, right? You were on the show Tuesday.
I was.
You know what was your initial thought to Campbell? I mean, he didn't really show up on anyone's radar until like less than a week ago, and the Lions are like, yeah, we want this guy.
Well, my first impression, when I heard the announcement, who is this guy? Yeah, pretty much. And he's, they hired the general manager, which I thought was a pretty good hire. But again, we're going to just have to wait and see what happens here. And, we've gone through this so many times. It's going to have to be show me the wins, and then I'll make a decision on how I feel about you, because I have no idea. I have no idea if these guys are going to do it or not do it. Is it going to be another Quinn, Patricia combination?
No.
Well, we don't know that yet.
They did and I talked about it Monday, and Lions fans might feel the same, as when the team goes through GMs and coaches, they jump on the seesaw. All right, we're going to go defensive and Patriot way. And then the next guy is going to be offensive, not Patriot way. We're going to go Rams way. Is that better? Is that worse? Well, we saw the Quinn Tricia deal. That was worse. That was clearly a whiff there. But, how much do you put on Quinn? How much do you put on Patricia? And I don't know if we ever had a chance to really break that down. How much of that failure was the GM? How much of it was the coach?
Well, you got to look at, for the GM, you got to look at all the busts that they had for draft picks. I mean, from a couple of years ago. Those
You
guys
can't even
aren't
name
even
them
around.
'cause
No,
they're gone.
That's
Yeah.
right. I mean, that's number one right there. And as far as coaching is concerned, you have a defensive-minded coach, and he comes into the Detroit Lions. You know, they're winning in the fourth quarter, and then they lose it. It's defense, and his system just did not work with the personnel that he had.
So then it makes sense then for the team to hire an offensive guy to fix the defense. Like his defensive coordinator, Campbell's, has to be. That's where the team needs to get it right. That's where Campbell needs to get an A+ hire. Like with Jim Harbaugh, apparently the defense is the problem. So they get rid of Don Brown. Now they hire in these other guys to get the defense right. So Jim will say, all right, I'll do the offense. You figure out this defense. And the Lions has to happen. They have to get the defensive coordinator right. Have there been reports of who Campbell wants? I heard, or I saw that John Roberts texted us that they might pull someone else from the Saints to be the DC. Would you rather have someone off the Sean Payton defense or the Belichick defensive coordinator? I mean, they're both really good defenses historically. Saints an underrated good defense, and you know about the Patriots defense in the past.
Well, we're learning more and more about Bill Belichick and his coaching style, and it's getting pretty negative in New England because stories are coming out now about his relationship with Tom Brady and how that went down. A lot of other players kind of speaking up now and saying that Belichick he had all the ammunition, but he was a little short on coaching.
Yeah, when I say they, I mean the broadcast team. The last couple of games I watched of the Patriots, I think they were in prime time, and they started pointing out that Belichick is missing on some of these moves as GM. They're not getting the best free agents. They're not drafting receivers or talent that well. I think they're starting to see a shift, and that tells you how important the general manager is.
They brought in Cam Newton. Cam Newton has been kind of
he was very this year.
Kind of 50-50 on that one.
So to bring this back to the Lions, the GM and head coach.
Yes.
What if I were a fly on the wall? If I could skip a day of work, Pat, and become a fly and sneak into Ford Field and be on the interviews, I really want to know what Holmes and Campbell said and what they think and what the Fords want them to do with Stafford. Do they feel that either A, Matt is your guy, B, Matt is not our guy? What is it?
What I understand is that Campbell came in and was very upfront, truthful, told it like it was. Maybe some things the Lions management or owners didn't want to hear, but they listened. And I think Campbell just, let it all hang out. I mean, this is what it is. This is what I'm going to do.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Oh, I missed it.
Yep, he did. From what
Did I miss
read.
the news? What did you read? Clue me in, Pat.
From what I read, that's what he did. That was a topic of discussion.
Oh, that he talked about Matt, or that he wants him or doesn't want him?
I think he did talk about the quarterback situation. Of course, that wasn't revealed. What he's going to do with Matt Stafford. And I can't see them just pushing Matt Stafford to the side of the road. They're not going to do that.
Not going to cut him.
They could possibly trade him for another frontline quarterback, someone who's playing now in the National Football League that maybe isn't on firm ground with the team that they're playing with now. I don't know. We'll see.
I know there are a lot of holes to fill on the Lions team, but I could see a draft day move for Matt Stafford.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have the Jets at 2. Jets
Maybe,
at 2. They're not sold on Darnold. And
maybe Bieniemy will be going to the Jets. Who knows?
To go with Saleh, coach there.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
hey, we have to take a break here. It's about 20 minutes before the hour. We've got plenty of stuff coming up. Of course, next hour we'll have John Borton from the Wolverine magazine joining us on his take of what's going on in Ann Arbor, and a lot more right here on Inside the Cave this morning. Ian Wett, yours truly, Pat Hayes.
trivia question today was about the last 21 years of Lions history. Since the year 2000, how many coaches have coached for the Detroit Lions? I will list them off. I was going to start with Gary Moeller. We had Marty Morningwig for a season and
he's
2
with,
seasons.
He's with Dallas now.
He went 5-27 here in Detroit.
Okay.
Pretty cool there. And then we went to Steve Mariucci from 03 to 05. Dick Duran in 05. He was the interim. He went 1-4. Rod Marinelli from 06 till 08. Then Jim Schwartz from 09 to 13. Jim Caldwell with a winning record, 36-28 from 2014 to 17. Matt Patricia till 2020. We're counting Darrell Bevel, who was interim. He went 1-4. And are coaching in one game when Bevel was out with the contact tracing, Robert Prince. And then we have Dan Campbell. That is 11 head coaches in 21 years.
Wow, that's a lot of coaches.
I mean, good luck getting continuity, building a roster.
And Bill
You know.
Belichick has been with the New England Patriots that whole time.
He has. Yep.
He must
the only-
be one of the senior members of the coaching staffs of the NFL.
To stay with one team.
One team that
Yeah,
long.
I mean, you've
I
got,
can't think of anybody else that.
I think the next closest is probably Mike Tomlin.
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Right, Pittsburgh, yeah.
He's been there for 13, 14 years.
Yeah, you're right.
One of the longer tenured coaches, and with a team that doesn't fire coaches. We just don't. The collective Pittsburgh
It's the
fan.
It's the Rooney effect.
It is. Yeah, it starts from there. So that's our trivia question. 11
11
head
Wow,
coaches.
That's a lot of coaches.
Counting interims. So you take out the 3 interims,
And not one of them had a winning record.
except Caldwell.
Caldwell, yeah.
Couple playoff appearances for him too. Remember, 9-7,
That's right.
not good enough.
9
We got to be better. We have to go 11 losses and 5 wins. That's better. They went with better and canned him after Thanksgiving. So there you go. That's our Wednesday trivia question on Thursday.
Thursday, a little day late, but not a
You know-
dollar short though.
You know, I know people are out there listening. They just missed a chance at a car wash.
That's right.
I think it's easy. You just got to find the answer.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
Google it.
Sure, you can cheat. I don't care. You'd have to
We
take
just
your...
want to give away the car wash.
Right. I mean, every time we don't give it away, I just take it. No,
You
I'm kidding.
do?
I'm kidding.
You
I don't
do?
take it. I don't take
You
it.
better not. All right, it's 7:53 here in the morning, and if you'd like to talk Lions with us, give us a call, 517-265-4000.
All right, we're gonna play GM. Okay, for like the
Okay.
last couple minutes.
Let's play GM.
That'd be cool. We could get a jingle for that,
Yeah.
like an old commercial. Yeah, if you're GM of the Lions, if you're Mr. Holmes or Mr. Campbell, what are you doing on draft day? What's your draft day move?
Well, what, they're in the number 7th position?
That's correct.
Unless they decide they would like to go a little bit higher and
Yeah.
get a person. So we're looking at pretty much defense. We're looking for defense, right?
Is that what you would do if you're GM?
That's what I
We're
would
gonna
do.
play GM.
That's what they have a lot of holes in that defensive line. And secondary, I mean, they could use some help. A lot of help. Who's available?
I'm looking through here. This is CBSSports.com. Check this out. So right now, this is their projection. Trevor Lawrence to Jacksonville at 1. Zach Wilson, BYU quarterback, to New York at number 2. Number 3, Penei Sewell, offensive lineman from Oregon, who's, I guess, rated the best lineman in the draft. Devonta Smith going 6 to Philadelphia. And Jamar Chase, LSU wide receiver, going to Detroit. at 7. Weird pick here at number 4. They have Mac Jones, Bama quarterback,
Really?
going to Atlanta.
3 quarterbacks in the top 10?
3 quarterbacks in the top 4. Actually, 4 in the top 4 because they have Justin Fields going 3 to Carolina. They got 4 quarterbacks going with the first picks.
So pretty much the quarterbacks are gone.
So basically, do you trade up and take a guy, or Pat, you're sticking with defense?
I think we need defense.
So you'd say stay at 7, get defense.
Stay at 7 and take the best defensive player that's on the board. And who would that be? Who's the first defensive?
The first defensive person off the board for this mock is Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech, ranked the highest corner. So do you take corner back-to-back years if you're the Lions?
Yeah, I'm looking more of a lineman than anything else, but a defensive tackle.
Well, they don't show them going that high.
Or, somebody on the edge, defensive end.
All right, I'm going to play GM. I don't know, we're probably close to a break, aren't we?
We are, we're about it.
If I'm going to play GM, here's my quick 2 cents. You're going to trade up and get a guy.
Yep.
I think you move Stafford for the good of both parties. You move up and get your guy. Whatever quarterback he is, go get him. You're in total rebuild mode. Might as well rebuild with a new QB.
All right, we'll talk more about this on the other side of the break here. You're inside the cave this morning with yours truly, Pat Hayes and Ian Wendt. Don't forget, we've got John Borton coming up at 8:25 this morning. Don't go away. Inside the cave. And welcome back to hour number 2 of Inside the Cave. Glad you could join us this morning on this Thursday. And it's yours truly, Pat Hayes, along with Ian Went. Good morning again, Ian.
Good morning, Pat.
We've been talking a lot of stuff this morning, and we're going to switch our gears here a little bit and talk some NFL. We're going to have John Borton on from the Wolverine magazine at about 8:25 this morning. But right now, let's get down to business here and get things started.
Now for an Inside the Cave sports update.
All right, before I do sports update, I'm going to do a puppy update.
Okay.
Yeah, I had him for
How's
a
Toby?
week. No, Archie.
Archie.
Archie
Manning?
So basically, my hands, they look like I've been playing catch with cheese graters, because he is certainly chewing it up. And a weather update, it is so cold, he is very not willing to go, if you know what I mean, outside.
Do his thing outside?
Yeah, I keep, telling him, like, look, you gotta do it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't like being out here with you in the cold. You don't like being out here to do it, but you have to. It's the way of the world.
Yeah.
So if you see me walking around and I look like I've been playing catch with cheese graters, it's no puppy bites. Puppy bites. All right, to sports. Part 2 of our mini-series through Friday. We're talking to Clinton High School football captains. Yesterday was Tyler Bowles. Today, Braden Randolph. The captains are out to set the tone for their team, urging them to take the game in stride like all the other games. Clinton has won this season.
Yeah, it's just another football game, though. You can't go with them. You can't put any pressure on yourself. You just got to go out there and play football.
That's right. Ford Field, put that out of your mind, too.
Yeah, I've competed in there a couple of times, been on the big stage a couple of times, so, just a business trip.
This is a state championship game. Have you been in a state championship game before in any sport?
Yeah, I've been in the state championship a couple of times with wrestling. Not for football, but, nothing new. Just got to go out there and compete and do your best.
What makes you guys so good?
I like that attitude.
Is really strong. We're hard for each other. We've been playing football with each other since we were in first grade. Nothing beats our family bond. So we're a special group of kids and looking to make things happen.
The Redskins, they've won 8 straight. They take their 10-1 record to Ford Field in the state championship game. Their coach, Jeremy Fielder, not leaving anything to chance, spending time on special teams, because sometimes in a close game, special teams can be the difference.
Yeah, absolutely they can. And it's been kind of such a weird year for special teams, just with the shutdowns and things like that. And sometimes you don't get as much time to prepare those special teams units as you wish, because you're so busy installing your offensive and defensive adjustments. But we've really had to make it a priority to prepare all of our special teams for any different looks that they might see, especially our punt return teams and prepping against fakes they might see. And certainly our kick return teams spend a lot of time with onside and pooches and squib kicks and things of that nature.
And that is Clinton coach Jeremy Fielder. They'll take on Montague tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Friday. Tomorrow. Friday. Tomorrow at Ford Field at 4:20. You can catch the game here on 96.5 The Cave. That's here. 96.5 The Cave. Right here. Don't go anywhere. 96.5 The Cave and
965thecave.com.
that is right. So where can you catch the game? Here. 96.5 The Cave. 965thecave.com. Friday at 4:20. Jeff Bowman. John Roberts on the call. There's your PSA, guys.
Can't wait.
The Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, easy for me to say, my gosh, they released their preseason coaches poll for men's basketball ahead of the season. Bulldogs, they are picked 6th in the league with 17 points. The Bulldogs are coming off the season with an NCAA tournament appearance for the first time in their program history. They got the automatic bid after beating Trine, Calvin, and Hope. Adrian lost to the host school North Central in the first round of the NCAA tournament, 69-54. Pat and Fred Smith were there on the call. One of the last events that we called before everything was shut down.
Haven't done a game since.
The Bulldogs began their season. They're 0-7. They've lost to Spring Arbor, Bluffton, Manchester, Trine, and Eastern Michigan University. They've also played a couple exhibition with Spring Arbor and Western Michigan. So the Bulldogs will play some non-conference games against conference teams. You see that in hockey a lot. Then they'll turn around, play them in the regular season. Every team will make the MIAA tournament a chance to get an automatic bid. Adrian College women's basketball, they tallied 21 points to land themselves 6th on the MIAA coaches preseason poll released by the office Wednesday. Hope, the defending champ, they are picked to repeat. Adrian only 7 points from number 5 Alma. They are ahead of number 7 Olivet and number 8 Kalamazoo. Bulldogs returning some talent, Chelsea Palmer and Satrice Graves anchoring the inside for the Adrian College Bulldogs. The Detroit Lions, in case you haven't heard, they hired their man Dan Campbell to be the head coach. Detroit announced the agreement with the Saints tight end coach a day after formally introducing Brad Holmes as their general manager. The 44-year-old Campbell has 11 years experience in the NFL as a coach and 11 as a player. He was 5-7 as interim coach of the Miami Dolphins. In 2015, Campbell played for Detroit in 2006 and 2008. He released a video reaching out to the fans.
What's up, Lions Pride? This is Dan Campbell, new head coach for you guys, man. I'm ready to get going. I'm excited, and we're going to put Motown back on the map.
I hope so. I hope so.
Follow me into battle. All right, that's Lions coach Dan Campbell. Michigan, they've hired Maurice Lindquist and George Hello as their assistants on defense. I'm sure we'll talk to Jen Borton about that
Absolutely.
quite a bit later. Atlanta Hawks, they rally past Jeremy Grant and the Pistons in overtime, 113-115. Detroit continues to be in the cellar of the Eastern Conference. They have the worst record on that half of the NBA. Young team, expect them to not be that good. Now to the good teams in the NFL. Big games coming up Sunday with winners advancing to the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen spoke to reporters Wednesday ahead of his team's AFC title game against Kansas City. Allen spoke about what it would mean to win a Super Bowl.
Ever since I was a little kid, football's been my favorite, so it's winning that Super Bowl. It's being on the stage and celebrating with my teams and going into the locker room and spraying champagne everywhere, and it's just one of those things that not many people get to do. You know, and we're a long way from that point. And I hate thinking about stuff like that, but you know, our goal is Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium, and we know it's going to be loud. Like I said, we know it's going to be a dogfight. It's a really good team we're playing, and you know, we got to go and try to get a W.
Think we can spray some champagne in here?
If we get enough plastic to cover all the stuff with.
There you go.
The Bills, they're the underdog. The other underdog still alive is the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers. And their quarterback, Tom Brady, he spoke to reporters about the team's NFC Championship game coming up against Green Bay this weekend. Brady spoke about the effort that went into reaching this point.
You know, the team's worked really hard to put ourselves in this position. Our coaches have done a great job, preparing us for this moment.
Levels are terrible.
You know, we've really come on strong here the last 6 weeks. Played our best football of the year when we needed it the most. The bye week was really good for us. Got a chance to get a little mental refresh, physical refresh, and then the team has done a great job coming together and performing, executing under pressure. You know, 2 road playoff wins, and gives us a great opportunity to go on the road again to beat one of the great football teams.
And that was Tampa Bay quarterback Tom Brady. Number 10, Wisconsin in college basketball. They pulled away in the second half to beat Northwestern 68-52. And some NCAA fall sports news. Women's volleyball will be the first fall sport to play this spring after the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted schedules in the NCAA called off their tournament. The Big Ten and Pac-12 will play Friday, along with some mid-majors. The SEC will start next week. ACC mid-February. Again, that is for collegiate volleyball that normally plays in the fall. That'll wrap things up for the sports update. We do these weekdays at 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning.
All right, you're inside the cave this morning. If you'd like to talk with us about any kind of sports, give us a call here on the studio line. By now, you can send us an email, sports@965thecave.com. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. And we're going to change our focus now a little bit on the AFC and the NFC championship games coming up this weekend. Another great weekend of football, and 4 teams that any one of these teams could advance on to the Super Bowl.
They really could, and there's no Cinderella.
No.
There's no...
These teams are for real.
Right, and there's
especially
no, like,
Buffalo.
Yeah. Like if Cleveland would have pulled off the win, that's all we'd be talking about. But now it's like, okay, these are the 4 best in the NFL. I don't think there's any question that the Saints have fallen off, and we saw that in the divisional, and these are the 4 best: Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Of the 2 road teams, which one do you think has the better chance of pulling off the win? Is it Tampa going to Green Bay or Buffalo to Kansas City?
Well, it depends.
All right, let's say Patrick plays.
If Patrick plays, I don't think the underdog will win in that particular contest. I think Kansas City will win it rather, if Patrick Mahomes is cleared to play and has a clear head. You know, it was a little bit of a discussion whether that was a concussion or not. They said he tweaked a nerve in his neck, and there was all kinds of things going on about that. But according to Ian now, you say it was a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, he was in protocol for it.
Right.
You know, there could be a concussion and other issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we all saw him get up after that tackle, and he had spaghetti legs and spaghetti arms. So
Yep.
Hope he's doing well, and I hope he plays. So are you giving the upset possibility to Tampa Bay? Like, do you think they have a better chance of beating the Packers or the Bills of beating the Chiefs?
I think Tampa Bay has a better shot of beating the Packers than the Bills versus the Chiefs. You know, if Tom Brady shows up, if he can withstand, you know, the Packers have a great defense, and if they can figure out a way to circumvent the Packer defense, I don't see any reason why they can't beat the Packers. The Packers have been vulnerable in other games during the course of the year. Going to their schedule, there was one game where they really got blown out.
It was the Saints, wasn't it? Or did they beat the Saints?
No, they lost to the Buccaneers, 38-10. Is that right? Yes. They lost to Tampa Bay, 38-10. They lost to the Vikings, 22-24, and they lost to the Colts, 34-31. Those are their 3 losses of the season. So Tampa Bay knows how to beat the Packers. Whether they can do it this weekend, like I said, if Tom Brady can circumvent that great defense of the Green Bay Packers, and other teams have done it, including Tampa Bay earlier in the year. But as you know, it's tough to beat another team twice or 3 times in the same year.
So I'm going to say that Buffalo has a better chance of upsetting Kansas City than Tampa Bay has of beating Green Bay.
Why is that? Why?
Here's why. I'm going to discount Week 17. No one played for them. They lost to the Chargers. So you beat the Browns by 5 at home. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You talk about winning close, Pat. They beat the Falcons in comeback fashion by 3. Beat the Saints by 3. Dolphins by 5, or 6 rather. They beat the Broncos by 6. Beat Buccaneers by 3. Beat the Raiders by 4. Beat the Panthers at home by 2. and then prior to that a blowout win over the Jets. So they are playing really close games recently, and against like not great teams. They're good teams they're playing, but they're not great. Carolina's not great, they stink. Raiders aren't great. So like if they go up against an offense that's more confident and a quarterback that's playing out of his mind, I think the Bills will give Kansas City a run. And if I were to pick one to be an upset, it would be Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, who is unbelievable this year. Underrated. No one's talking about that. You know, they moved him from Minnesota, and the Bills are contenders, just like that. So I'm going to give the edge to Josh Allen, and the Bills has a better chance to go into Arrowhead than Tampa Bay. I just think Aaron Rodgers also is playing out of his shoes. So I don't think he'll have too many issues against Tampa Bay.
Stephon Diggs, he's pretty impressive.
Oh, just ask my fantasy team. He's been awesome.
Averaging 12.9 yards per carry or per catch. 8 touchdowns. 8 drops. Pretty good. 127 receptions.
I think he's got the most catches in the NFL. I think that's number 1 in the league, is Stephon Diggs. Now,
well, Travis Kelce is right behind him. 105 receptions for 2 drops, 11 touchdowns. 13.49 yards per catch.
So we differ. So you think Tampa Bay has a better shot of upsetting Green Bay?
I do.
And I think Buffalo over Kansas City. I don't know what the people think. Now that might be a Twitter question. I don't know if John Roberts is listening or if he can put that up on Twitter or if I will during the break. But who do you think has a better shot at the upset? Do you go with arguably the GOAT, greatest of all time quarterback in Tampa Bay with Brady, or a team that is scalding hot in the Buffalo Bills? Assuming Mahomes plays. Now, if Patrick doesn't play, I would think Buffalo becomes the favorite in that game. Right? I mean, it's a 3-point spread now.
Sure.
And that would switch at least 6 points, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But looking at Tampa Bay, points allowed, they're 8th in the NFL. Packers are 13th. 22.2 for Tampa Bay and 23.1. Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Third down percentage is pretty much even. Rushing yards, as I said, Tampa Bay number 1, Green Bay number 13. Total yards, again, that's pretty even there too. So it's going to come down to defense as far as I'm concerned. If Tampa Bay can overcome that Green Bay defense, they will have a shot. But of course, Green Bay is favored by 3, which they should be. They've got the better record of the teams. Of course, Tampa Bay 11-5, Green Bay 13-3. And of course, the other advantage, looking at all these advantages now for Green Bay, they are playing at home, and I think the weather forecast is not real good, calling for a little bit of snow up in the Green Bay area for Sunday. So that will favor them. Tampa Bay coming in from Florida, they probably haven't played in too many cold places, especially not the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
No, they haven't. And I know we got to do our lock of the weekend coming up here in a second, but for the NFC Championship, I will be looking at the line of scrimmage. Can Tampa's defensive line get to Aaron Rodgers and vice versa? Because these are 2 quarterbacks that like to stand in and throw. Now, Aaron can move out and throw, yes, but they would rather stay in the pocket. And for the AFC, I'm looking at the position players. I'm looking at the skill guys on the edge. You got Diggs on one side, Kelce, Hill on the other, electric. If these corners and safeties can't hold up, that game could be like 52-50 for the AFC Championship game. I am excited. If my memory serves me right, we'll have the games on the cave
That's right.
Sunday.
Okay.
So be sure to tune in for those.
All right, we got to take a break here. It's 20 minutes after the hour, and we'll be back with John Borton, and then we'll get back into our lock of the week after that. So don't go away. You're inside the cave this morning with Ian Went. Yours truly, Pat Hayes.
When trades are made, when records are broken, when championships lay in
welcome back inside the cave this morning on this Thursday morning. And of course, every Thursday at this time, we bring in John Borton from the Wolverine magazine, the senior editor of the Wolverine magazine. And John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pat. Good to be with you.
Well, we had some action in Ann Arbor this week. Jim Harbaugh hiring a couple defensive coaches for next year's team. And can you tell us anything about Maurice Lindquist or George Hilo, is it? Or Hello?
It's Hilo, and they put the emphasis on the latter syllable there. A couple guys that are relatively young, like all the new hires that Jim is doing, basically, but very much go-getters, good recruiters, really solid. You talk about Maurice Lindquist, spent this past season with the Dallas Cowboys, and prior to that, he coached at Texas A&M. He works with the secondary. He's been really effective in getting the most out of his players. He coached Jordan Lewis at the Cowboys, one of the former Wolverines, who set a career high with stops this past year. But he's going to be good. He's going to coach in the secondary, and Hilo is coming out of Maryland, moving within the conference. Somebody that also has been a real go-getter on the coaching scene. He was the special teams coordinator and linebackers coach at Maryland, but he has also coached in the secondary in the past, and those two guys will split the duties in terms of coaching Michigan's defensive backfield. Hilo is the safeties coach, and Lindquist talking and dealing directly with the cornerbacks.
Also, we've got Mike McDonald from the Baltimore Ravens, linebacker coach, and he's going to be the defensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines, right?
Yeah, he is, but I'm intrigued by this. Maurice Lindquist is listed also as the co-defensive coordinator. So how that's going to work, we're going to see. But those two guys are, in some combined fashion, going to be flipping the switches. With Mike McDonald, you get a fireball of a 33-year-old coach who is going from Harbaugh staff to Harbaugh staff. Mike McDonald on John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens staff, they put together some really great defenses. They've been top 10 in the NFL in scoring defense. I believe it's 6 out of the last 7 years. And he has done a great job with the linebackers. And then prior to that, he's coached some defensive backfield as well. So, I mean, you're talking about, you throw in Mike Hart in addition to those guys who's going to be coaching running backs coming back home. You've got a lot of young, fiery, really hungry coaches that are going to be added to Jim Harbaugh's staff, and I'm interested to see the impact they have not only in the field but also in terms of recruiting. Because you talk like a Maurice Lindquist, has been based in Texas. He was a player for Baylor. He has deep roots down there, and we already heard, some rumblings about, you're going to have some interest from the Lone Star State because Lindquist is up here and he has so many connections down there.
Do we have many coaches that are going to be returning again with Jim Harbaugh?
Well, I mean, you've got most of the offensive staff will be back. You're talking Josh Gaddis is still in charge as the offensive coordinator. Jay Harbaugh moves out of the running back position, but he is going to be special teams coordinator now. Ed Warner is still going to be coaching that offensive line. They love Sharon Moore at tight ends coach, Some question. Ben McDaniels is still listed as the quarterback's coach, but there's a lot of question about that and a lot of speculation that he may be gone and Jim Harbaugh taking a much more hands-on approach as far as coaching these quarterbacks.
Well, good morning, John. We appreciate you being on as always. I got a couple of questions. I'm trying to put a Michigan fan hat on, a beanie, baseball hat, whatever it may be, or a fanatic and wear a helmet. So how long should fans give these guys to get the defense right, and how important it is for Jim Harbaugh to get these hires right? Because Don Brown worked for a few seasons and then it tailed off. How long do you give them, and how important are the hires?
Well, they're hugely important, and you should see results right away. I'm just going to put it out there like that, especially when you're comparing it to last year, because last year, this past truncated season because of COVID, was disastrous defensively. I mean, you're giving up close to 35 points a game. Your cornerbacks, especially earlier in the season, were just lost and were picked on constantly. That's exactly why Michigan State, a terrible Michigan State team, was able to post a win in that game. They just lob balls, high balls downfield and let the receivers run under them. It was. I think you need immediate impact as far as the defensive effort from last year. Get it back to at least where you're playing the teams that you're dominating, the teams that are traditionally not super strong. But in the end, bottom line for this defensive staff down the road, it's going to be, can you get to that last game of the regular season and go toe to toe? You cannot allow Ohio State mid 40s, 50, close to 60 points in that game, and that was the downfall of the previous defensive coordinator, Dan Brown, who now is out in Arizona with Jed Fish. And for these guys, it's going to be the bottom line between, okay, you're putting together a good defense for most of the season and a great defense which can get it done at the end of the year. And that's the key to everything, as we've said. Going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game, winning Big Ten championships, playoffs, all of that will hinge on being able to do a better overall job against the Buckeyes, but particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, one more quick one on football, and then we'll talk about the team that's back on its winning ways, the basketball team. So I'll take a pessimistic approach because the defense was not good last year, like you said. What if it looks the same? I mean, do you switch it up again? You just gotta look down the road. You hope it works, but what if it doesn't? Is Harbaugh getting into question here? Like, do you start questioning him, or does he switch it up, or do you think it's a long-term hire no matter what?
I think you have to give these guys time to work and to gel. Certainly, nobody's going to be happy if the defense isn't dramatically better from the start next year, but that involves a lot. You've got a new staff that has not worked together before, meshing. You got all those guys that I mentioned working along with linebackers coach Brian Jean-Mary and Sean Nua, the defensive line coach. You've got to get stronger along the defensive line. You got to get guys like Aiden Hutchinson healthy. Nobody expected Hutchinson and Kwity Paye, your two of the better defensive ends around, to go down to injury in this past season. So it depends on a lot of things. I don't think you can make an immediate judgment on this staff based on the early part of this year, or maybe even the entire part. But that said, there's no question that when all of this contract business was in limbo, people were wondering, is Jim Harbaugh going to be here? And that's where it's got to after 6 years. When he came in, you would have predicted, okay, championships under the belt, and now you're looking for national honors 6 years in. That's not where it's at.
All right, let's change our focus here a little bit now on round ball as the Michigan Wolverines. Nice victory, 87-63 over Maryland, and after that loss against Minnesota, we were kind of questioning what was going on. Is this a thing, John, where other teams are starting to figure out what Michigan's doing?
Well, they may. I mean, and you had after that Minnesota game a lot of panic in saying, okay, the blueprint is out now for figuring out Michigan. You just collapsed hard on Hunter Dickinson in the post, and then forced the turnovers, and it's going to be, Minnesota forced 20 turnovers, and 5 of those belong to the big freshman, the 7'1" freshman in the middle. Michigan showed a great ability to bounce back and push back against that kind of narrative. They went after Hunter Dickinson early in the Maryland game. He's finding guys all over the place. Mike Smith, point guard, had 3 3-pointers very early on. They shot 50% from three-point range and just tore it up. So they answered. And that's the thing that this team has to continue to do. It's shown the ability to lock down opponents in key areas, and now it's shown the ability to really have a struggle in a particular game. And remember, Eli Brooks was out for that game, who is their best defender and one of the best defenders in the Big Ten, if not the best. But they showed that, okay, we dropped the ball, we looked bad, but they answered the specific questions that other teams were trying to exploit that did get exploited in the Minnesota game, and came back very strong against Maryland.
Yeah, I think you can view that Minnesota as kind of a trap game. You come off the huge win at home against Wisconsin, then you go to a hungry Minnesota team. And John, we talked last week that it's going to be close, but we thought Michigan would win. That was not the case. And then they bounced back against Maryland. They got Purdue tomorrow night. What's the panic level? 1 being I'm not worried, 10 being I'm really concerned about Purdue.
Oh, Purdue's a good team, and Purdue has been playing well of late, and Purdue is extremely tough in Mackey Arena. Anytime you get there, it's not quite the same this year as it is, in so many places, because you don't have those fans in there. But Purdue knows the surroundings, loves to play at home, and is going to be a handful. And here's the good thing about Michigan right now. They played so well in the early part of the Big Ten season that they can drop a game with Minnesota. They're still tied for first place. If they lost at Purdue, they would be a game or two ahead of most of the competition here. This is not a league that's going to see a team win it with 1 loss, 2 losses in the league. It's just not. It's too balanced. It's too good. It's got too many NCAA teams, maybe 1 through 8 or so, at least. And so this is a game. I think that Michigan could go the way. I don't think the way of Minnesota. I don't see them losing by 20 points or 18 points. But it's definitely one where they could get tripped up, and yet, you could drop that game and still be in great shape. But that's just one more road win. Every road win you steal in the Big Ten, the closer you get to being right there at the end for the Big Ten championship.
Well, it's great seeing our local product, Austin Davis, coming in after that injury and picking up where he left off, playing very well for the Wolverines.
Yeah, selfish kid, great kid. Everybody loves Austin Davis. The thing about it is he has impacted this team in so many ways. Even when he was not in there, he's right in Hunter Dickinson's ears, teaching, coaching, building him up, making sure that this freshman, who has been a sensation, is successful. And then you see him come back off that plantar fasciitis injury, and he's contributing on the court in so many ways as well. He adds the muscle down under the basket, and he's just one more big guy you can run at teams. I think teams in the Big Ten programs are very envious of Michigan's situation right now at the 5 spot, and Austin Davis is a really big part of that. And like I said, adds a ton of intangibles to this program.
John, we're about out of time here, but I know I'm enjoying my Wolverine magazine. That one just came the other day. And of course, I've been very happy with Wolverine.com. A lot of stuff on there every day.
Yeah, we're at the Wolverine.com every single day. You can get on there and you can actually subscribe to the website. Get on thewolverine.com and use the code BLUE60. You can get your first 60 days on the website absolutely free. If you're interested in the magazine, which is going to have a big blowout story on all of the new coaches in football and, of course, tons of basketball and all. Just call 800-421-7751 and they'll get you hooked up.
All right, John. Well, thank you again for being with us today on this Thursday, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. John Borton from the Wolverine magazine. We got to take a break here. You're inside the cave this morning with Ian Wendt. Yours truly, Pat Hayes.
96.
And the Bongo Beat here. You're back inside the cave this morning. Pat Hayes and Ian Went. Boy, this hour has gone very, very quickly. We're almost out of time here. We got to take care of some business here, don't we?
I know. What do we even do? No, I'm just kidding. Big thanks to John Borden with the Wolverine Magazine. Pleasure to have on the show every week. Ask him the tough Michigan questions and our Michigan Insider. Really cool. And I appreciate Pat for getting that thing lined up. But we do have some things to do before we say goodbye.
Yeah, it's time for the Lock of the Week. Lock of the Weekend is being brought to you by Adrian Locksmith. Let's be honest, you couldn't pick your nose if it wasn't attached to your face, so we can't imagine you are any good at picking football games. So we're going to do it for you with the help of Adrian Locksmith. They have been serving Lenawee County and the surrounding areas for over 20 years. Adrian Locksmith is located at the corner of North Main and Maple Avenue in Adrian, brand new location for them. So, Ian, who's our Lock of the Week this week?
Well, there's a few we could go with. You know, we got the NFC, AFC championship games. We got hockey, basketball going on. We picked Michigan last week, and they let us down, losing to Minnesota the way they did. Minnesota must have been listening. So they put a hurting on the Wolverines. So we need to get back on track. We'll let you know right after the break.
All right. Lock of the Week coming up here in just a second here on Inside the Cave.
Hi, this is Nick. Do you want to check or change?
Thank you, Nick, for sponsoring our Lock of the Week, and kind of a no-brainer here tonight, or today rather. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, Pat. So last week we didn't want to go local. We said, we got Lenawee Christian, and we got Clinton. No,
Yep.
And they proved us wrong. Lenawee Christian went out and won, and Clinton, they both won in dominating fashion. So this weekend, we will be picking the Clinton Redskins as our Lock of the week to win the Division VI state championship and upset Montague at Ford Field. We will have that game, so you can listen to it live on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com.
And on my meter, as far as my confidence level on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the least, I'm at a 10. I'm going all the way with the Clinton Redskins.
Might as well. You're not crazy for picking 10. I'm up there too. I mean, Montague's a good team. You got to respect them.
Yep, they are.
I think Clinton does too. But yet they have the right mindset. The coaching staff has been really solid for Clinton over the years, and it's a winning program. And they feel that they're good enough, and they deserve it, and they work hard, and they win enough to get to this point, and they have. One blemish. That's it. They're a hot football team. There's been excellent football in Lenawee County this year and in years prior, and Clinton's clearly the team to beat. They got the chip on their shoulder, and they are the Lock of the Week.
All right, Clinton, our Lock of the Weekend, and it's been brought to you by Adrian Locksmith. Security is their business. Adrian Locksmith is at 402 North Main Street in Adrian. Give them a call at 517-263-1415 or check them out on Facebook. So, go Clinton.
That's right. Game kickoff around 4:20. Game will be here on 96.5 The Cave, 965thecave.com.
Where?
965thecave.com.
Okay.
96.5 FM.
Exclusively.
Jeff Bowman, John Roberts. Jeff Bowman calling the game for his alma mater. Going to be an awesome experience for him. Not his first time at Ford Field, but a great opportunity to call for your alma mater. And John Roberts, the Maple. They're going to let him call the game. I can't believe it.
I'm sure both of them are going to do very, very
Oh, it's gonna be
well, and
great.
it's going to be a great game to listen to. And so, good luck to the Clinton football team on their quest for a state championship, and that is what, Division
Six.
Division 6, 4:30 tomorrow, right here on the Cave. Hey, we just got a couple of minutes left here, and any final thoughts for this morning? Detroit Lions, Michigan.
Oh, do you want to pick the AFC NFC Championship?
Why don't we do that right now?
Assuming Patrick Mahomes plays, who's going to win the AFC Championship?
Well, excuse me, let me just get to it here right now.
The spread is 3 points for
3
Kansas
and
City.
3.5, I think.
Who's going to win straight up? You can't cheat off your phone.
Okay.
What's your gut tell you?
Well, my gut tells me Green Bay, but my heart tells me Tampa Bay. So I guess
Your Michigan heart. The Michigan heart says
That's
Tampa
right.
Bay is going to win.
That's
Yeah.
right. But I got to go with Green Bay, and on the AFC side, I got to go with the Chiefs.
All right, going both favorites, both home teams.
And wouldn't it be great to see a Tom Brady and
Mahomes.
no, the backup.
Oh, Chad Henne.
Chad Henne, yeah, there you go. An all-Michigan Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be great?
Would be something else. I am going with Green Bay and a squeaker, and I got Buffalo
Oh,
upsetting Kansas City. A red-hot team. They're going to make it all the way to the Super Bowl and battle a perennial power in the Packers in
Wow.
the championship game.
that's Ian going out on a limb again.
That's right.
Against the odds.
There will be an upset. I
It
think
will
it'll
be.
be Buffalo.
I think it will be an upset, yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us on this Thursday. Thanks for joining us. And you'll be back again
Should be next Wednesday.
next Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow with Jeff Bowman sitting in for John Kane.
Yes, it's hard to deny, winter is here. And the